Hello everyone, welcome to the monthly reading for the Mediocre Mystic podcast. My name is Meliea of Lunar Aligned. I am your resident moon maven, mystic midwife, manifesting generator, doer of many things, full-time student, all the things right now. And I'm just honored to be able to share some of my gifts with Grace and with her listeners. And I have said in the last reading I did how much I appreciate and enjoy Grace's insights and her podcast. And so I feel very at home here in her realm. And if you would like to come and follow me over on Instagram at lunar_aligned, then I hope that you'll feel right at home too, because I really do love sharing with people the magic of cyclical living. And by magic, I mean, magic is anything that we deem magical. Period. Plain and simple. That's what magic is. And so cyclical living, just sort of using the moon as a navigator in my life has really helped me, especially right now when I have so many balls in the air. And that's just a necessity in my life right now. There's not many of those that I can drop or put down. And so it really helps me to honor myself and honor my energy when I'm living cyclically. So I do have a group, the Lunar Aligned Living Group membership, that I do this work there in community with other members, and we explore the different energies of each lunar cycle. I do a reading similar to this at the beginning of every lunar cycle and do like a forecast, and then we kind of just go through the month. So we are actually in the waxing quarter moon week right now as I'm recording this, but next week we have a full moon, so I'll be doing some full moon readings, so you can look for that on my Instagram also. This reading is full of fire, and by that I mean there's lots of wands cards in this reading. I'm using the Modern Witch Tarot, which I love because it has so many different looking people and bodies on these cards. So these cards always make me feel good, even when they have some really introspective things to say. So let's just dive right into this reading. This is a 5-card reading. I'm giving kind of a little bit bonus this week. I don't usually do 5 cards for something like this, but it just seemed like the right thing to do. So I just followed my intuition. And just asking different questions of the cards and sort of following a story is what I feel like it's done as I've looked at the cards. And I just real quickly want to interject this, because this reading is a lot about creativity and not being a perfectionist. And so the way I read cards, I don't do many live tarot readings. I'll do some live oracle readings, but I don't do a lot of live tarot readings because I do respect that the tarot cards have symbolism and meaning to them. And the way my intuition works is I need to sit and study the cards. I need to read them like a book all together to figure out what they are saying. And that's just how I operate. Now, there's not a lot of tarot readers that operate that way. A lot of them can do these like spontaneous readings, and I love them. But that's just not how I operate. Are there areas where you're supposed to be sharing some gifts, but you think that because you don't do it the way the other people that you admire or follow are doing it, that you aren't good enough to do it, or you're not doing it for that reason? Stop that. Do it the way that honors you. I do this the way it honors me and honors the people that want me to read for them. So that's just a little bit, you'll see that's going to play more into this reading as we get into it, but I just wanted to kind of let you know my process, that I do pull out all the cards and then I sit and really allow my intuition to follow the story that they are telling. So the overarching theme, our middle card, that's kind of giving us the mood for this whole reading is the Moon card. I totally randomly picked that. I didn't choose it. And so, you know, the moon is a beautiful card. The moon is a beautiful thing, right? But the moon is not all rainbows and springtime. The moon card is a really introspective card, and it can be a little bit of a critical card. And in this reading, that's what it's doing, because it's in the middle of all these different suits, the suit of wands, all these cards, all these wands cards. It's just right in the middle of all that fire. So we know that it's going to ask us some hard questions. This moon card is. So what it's wanting you to kind of, this is a very primal and raw card, and it's asking you right now, are you operating under your intuition, or are you operating under influence? Intuition or influence? It can be hard to tell sometimes. I'm going to venture to say that there's a lot of us right now that are operating under influence, because we are just in a time right now where we're all really scared of our own intuition and other people's intuition too. We want the facts, and we want to follow people who seem to have the facts. And anybody that's directing us back to ourselves or our own creativity or our own way of thinking, we're just sort of rejecting those people right now, because we don't want to have to think, right? And that's okay to do for a season, but we're not gonna be called back into a season where we're operating under our own intuition and really listening to ourselves. Have you ever, felt like you're such a free thinker, and we follow people who are, I love to follow them because they're such a free thinker? None of us are free thinkers, and the moon really wants you to know that today. None of us are free thinkers. We are all under influence, okay? We're all under the influence. In our society, it's impossible not to be under influence. Even if you live somewhere in a cave under a rock, you're still under the influence of the elements around you. There's always something influencing us. But if you are living in modern society, we are influenced by many, many things. We have a lot. I don't have to tell you what it is. Social media, regular media, all that. You know what I'm talking about. So nobody is a free thinker. So if you're following someone because you just think, oh yes, this person is such a free thinker, the fact that you're following them means they're not really a free thinker, because then you would be thinking more freely and there wouldn't be a following, right? So when we're following someone, we're following them because what they say resonates with us, which is fine. But we have to be careful once we cross over into that adopting beliefs because someone has told us this is the way, this is the truth, right? And this is how religions form. So we're very tribal in nature, meaning we like to be part of a group of people. And so we tend to go with the influence so that we can fit in, so that we can feel like we belong. And again, there's an element of that is okay. But we also have to really make sure that we don't become enmeshed and lose our individuality and unindividuate to become part of that crowd, part of that way of thinking. So asking yourself, the things that I'm doing right now, especially the things that feel challenging, are you operating under influence? Or are you operating under intuition? All right, so that's our overarching theme there. So the first card is kind of telling us where we're at, what the current situation is. And that card is the Four of Wands, and it is reversed. So the Four of Wands reversed. And this card is kind of about, like, in a way, acceptance. It's kind of asking you, are you willing to accept what is and what can be without all of the perfectionistic qualities added to it? And what I mean by that is, like, right now, I imagine a lot of us are feeling really ungrounded, because usually when I'm feeling something for an extended period of time, it's a collective energy. It's something that we share, right? So in this collective energy, we all feel really ungrounded right now. And I think what's happening is a lot of us are scrambling to try to figure out, and I'm talking about myself, a lot of us are scrambling, trying to figure out, what are we doing wrong? Am I not doing this enough? Am I not doing that enough? Do I need to eat cleaner? Do I need to, all these things that we feel like we're probably falling short, where we are a project to be managed. And we're doing all of this to try to figure things out. But really what we need to do is just sit with it and breathe, because the grounded feeling is coming. We are grounded, okay? We're on the earth. We're not floating out in space. We are grounded, but we don't feel grounded, and that's okay. So if we can just accept that and say, okay, I don't feel really grounded right now, but I'm gonna breathe through this, because I believe that the feeling will come. It's going to come. It really is going to come. Some shit is gonna work out. Some shit's gonna work out, but it's not gonna work out in the exact perfect way that you want it to, or that you think it should. You are going to have to accept that there are going to be a few little compromises in there, and you're going to have to accept that it might be a little bit rough around the edges, and that's okay. And that's what I was talking about with the way I read cards and all. It's not the way everybody else read cards. It is a little bit rough around the edges, and that is okay. I bring it to the world anyway. And that's the energy, because this is creation energy. This is creative energy. So that energy just has to be allowed, okay? So this is about allowing yourself to feel a little ungrounded right now, knowing that you are grounded, that you don't feel grounded, and that will pass. And just to continue breathing through it, continue doing the things that you do know that ground you, drinking your water, putting your feet on the grass, all of those things, keep doing it. Let the feelings catch up to the energy, okay? Sometimes that has to happen. Sometimes the feelings have to catch up to the energy. What just popped into my mind was a vision of, because I'm a midwife, when people have babies really, really, really fast. And everybody thinks, oh, that must be great. You had a baby in 2 hours. You weren't in labor forever. That must have been the most amazing thing ever. No, it's not always the most amazing thing ever, because what happens in those situations is the pregnant person feels like they've been hit by a train. Their brain did not have time to catch up with what their body was doing. And so next thing you know, they're holding a baby and they're like, what just happened to me, right? So it's kind of that same energy sometimes, and we just have to breathe and know, like, okay, this is working, this is happening, and my feelings are gonna catch up soon. My feelings are gonna catch up with where I am soon. So let it happen. Birthing energy is a parallel for life in every single way. All right, let's look at our next card. The next card is kind of telling us what is influencing us right now. What are the influences in our, and I'm not talking about people and things. I'm talking about, from an energetic and cosmos perspective, what is influencing us. And the card for that is the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune card is all about like new chapters, new doors are opening, all the new things, right? But here's the thing, when I was, sitting with this card, what I felt like this card was saying is like, yes, new doors are opening. Yes, new chapters are beginning, but you're not convinced of that. You're not convinced, because this energy right here is sort of meshing into that energy, and you're like, okay, well, yeah, that door is open, but what's on the other side of that door doesn't look like what I thought it was gonna look like. So I don't know if this is a door or not. It's a door. It's the door. It's a window. It's a new chapter. It is that. You've got to just walk through it and allow people who are open, people who are open to new things, open to change, open to all that are generally happier people. Now, I get that sometimes there's a lot of anxiety that comes with change and all, but once we have exercised our intuition a few times and we realize that when we open ourselves up to change, when we open ourselves up to things not being exactly like we thought they should be or would be, then we have more opportunities. And after some time, we see that. So let that happen. These doors are opening. Look for them. Walk through them. The windows are opening. Look for them. Stick your head out. Wave. Open the new chapter. Do all the things. And the other thing that came through for me when I was looking at this card is that it's not that you're not walking through the door because you don't want the opportunity, but you're not convinced you have earned it. You're not convinced you deserve it. And that earning and deserving is a very patriarchal energy. It's a very puritanical energy. I almost said injury, and I think that would have been right. That would have been correct. It's a capitalistic energy, right? You got to earn it. You got to earn everything. You got to earn rest. You got to earn self-care. You got to earn compassion. You got to earn love. We have these ideas. And so when these doors open to us, sometimes we don't walk through them because we're like, well, I haven't done enough to deserve that yet, so I'm not going to walk through the door. Walk through it. Walk through it. None of us earn anything, right? We just do. We just are. We are just being. So you just walk through the door. Walk through the door. All right. I'll probably come back to that card. We'll see. Our next card is going to kind of give us an idea of the obstacles that we're facing. And whew, this one is packing a punch. And I'm going to tell you, this one hit me right in the chest. So the obstacles, this card is our reverse. All these cards are reversed. All these cards are reversed because there's just upside down shenanigans energy right now. The Knight of Wands reversed is the card that is giving us this information. And listen, the Knight of Wands upside down, things are just shitty and sloppy, okay? You're being impulsive, you're flying by the seat of your pants, you are, and you feel, and then you're like criticizing yourself. You're like, I can't get it together. I'm not reliable. I can't show up for anybody right now. I can't, all the things that are wrong about you that you've decided to create this narrative. And here's the thing. Yes, some of that is true, but you can shift this energy. And it's not, let me see, I made a note here. It's not because you don't, you need strategy. You need a strategy. Strategy is going to require you to kind of sit down and be with yourself for a minute, which we are really resisting doing right now. And coming up with some things that are going to require a little bit of self-discipline. Okay, because that's the only way we get this horse right side up again. Okay, but here's the thing: it's not that you don't value strategy. It's not that you don't value the self-discipline things. It's that you're scared of failing. You're scared of okay, if I create a strategy and then it doesn't work out, then I have failed. If I create some structure and then I don't get up one day and do what I said I was going to do, I have now failed. Once again, we're back to this energy, this not being willing to accept things that have some flaws. It doesn't mean you're a failure. if you set up a strategy, if you set some goals, if you set up some structure in your life, and then you don't follow through on it every single day, that's not a failure. That is humanness. That is just being a human. And that is energy that we have to embrace if we want to go with the wheel here, okay? So let's embrace this energy. Let's just understand that things are gonna be, it's gonna be a little sloppy right now, but we're gonna put some structure around that sloppiness. Listen, you don't have to get rigid with anything. Sometimes when I just need to reset my self-discipline and my structure in my life, I start with just the simple making of my bed every morning. Just that one thing. I just set that one goal. And there's something about just accomplishing that one little thing that helps me accomplish lots more little things. So be careful that you don't go here with it and think, okay, I'm going to set this rigid structured plan for myself and follow through on it. Start small and work your way up. Start with a foundation and then start adding floors to it. This is the energy that helps you create the life that you want. It's this willingness to start small, work your way up, let things be flawed, let yourself be human, but still give yourself some structure and realistic expectations and require some self-discipline of yourself. There's this beautiful harmonious balance to be found there when we don't go to one extreme or the other. We find that sweet spot in the middle, and we can find it. We can all find it. All right, last card, last but not least, what magic can be made? I really wanted this card to be an upright card. It's not. It's another wands, and it's another like upside down. This time it's the 2 of wands instead of the 4 of wands. Reversed. And Grace will have a picture of these cards available for you in the show notes, so you'll be able to see them all there. So we've got this reverse 2 of wands energy. So what magic can come from this reverse 2 of wands energy? Self-compassion is what's going to come from this energy. This is you. You're going to just, finally take time to just admit that you're having a hard fucking time. Can we just admit that? Can we just stop, perpetrating all these different, strengths and everything that aren't really there, that we, you're not bringing that energy forward because you're growing into it. You're bringing that energy forward because you want other people to see that energy. You don't want them to see what's real. You don't want people to see that you're struggling and having a hard time. So let's just admit, you don't have to shout it to the world, but I'm going to tell you, I've been struggling and having a hard time this lunar cycle. It's been a difficult one. There's a lot of introspection happening. There's a lot going on. There's a lot that I wish was different right now. There's a lot that I don't feel is fair. And so can I just sit with that energy and have some compassion for myself and validate my own emotions, validate my own feelings. I don't need anybody else to validate them. The magic is that I'm not going to stay stuck here. The magic is that this is the energy that our best creative ventures are born out of. It's almost that weird starving artist energy, like that whole, the artist has to be broken and in a dark place to create the most beautiful, painting ever. It's kind of that thing. That's what this is. And it's not that we're in this terrible dark place, it's that we're in this real and raw place. And when we just allow that, and when we're open to that energy, we get to the deepest parts of our intuitive self. We have nowhere else to go. Once we just admit that we're struggling and having a hard time, we have nowhere else to go but into ourselves a little bit more. And if we can just say, okay, I'm having a hard time, but this is a season. This is a moment in time. This doesn't last forever. What can I do while I'm here? Maybe you write, maybe you draw, maybe you do adult coloring, maybe you dance. I don't know what you do, but there's some beautiful creative energy that can be birthed out of this reversed Two of Wands energy. And whenever we are at our most creative, we are always at our most compassionate for ourselves and for others. So that brings us back around to this overarching energy of the moon that is asking us, are you being intuitive or are you being influenced? If you are putting on a brave face and not even admitting to yourself that you're having a hard time, then you are under the influence. But if you can sit with yourself and say, all right, this fucking sucks right now, but this is a moment in time. What can I see and do in this moment for myself? What small things can I put into place to start building a foundation, to open myself up to this energy, knowing that grounded feeling is coming? How can I be open to this and watch what is born out of that energy? It's going to be good stuff. It's going to be good stuff. Thank you again for listening, for letting me read for you. There is one thing working on my website right now, and that is the membership. If you would like to explore cyclical living with me and the community that I am working with and in, then go to lunaraligned.com, click on work with me, and the membership tab will pop up and you can explore that option. If you would like your own reading, I do readings over an app called Marco Polo, so that you have a record, you have a recorded reading that you can refer back to on the regular. So if you would like your own reading, go to lunar_aligned on Instagram and shoot me a DM and let me know that you're wanting a full moon creativity and expansion reading, and I can give you more information there. I also have a free group on Facebook that's just called Lunar Aligned, and so you can come into the group there, and I do some extra live things and stuff in there too. So that's where you find me. I also do midwife stuff over at Mind Your Birth. So on Instagram, it's mind.your.birth. So if you are in any kind of family way still, you can follow me over there. Or if you're just a birthy person or a birth worker, you're welcome to follow me over there. Again, such an honor to read for Grace and for her followers. Thank you for listening, and I will see you again next month.